Anytime you look at an F-body, pay attention closely to the rear spoiler section. 70 to 80% of them have misaligned spoiler pieces. These holes, this one, and this one, are factory holes for the 79 spoilers. I had to drill this one myself and this one here to fit the spoiler that I have from a 74. 74 and 75 Trans Ams and Firebirds are basically identical with one very distinct difference and one not so much difference. The back glass. On 74, the back glass only comes to about right here, shallower, and 75 and up all kind of swooped around a little bit more drastically. So that's why I can't technically call this a 74 anymore. It has to do pretty much only with this right here. The other difference, see, they moved the marker up into the grill itself, and the pattern is different. Between 75 and 76, the big difference is the bumper. Can't find a hole. Something that makes this car really, really unique is this is the factory edge minus this right here, which was broken. So it does stay in line really well with the quarter panel here. And down here, 3 millimeter or so of, I guess, what would be considered a reveal if we were doing woodworking, which means that if I want to keep that gap consistent, this side's gonna have to come up a little bit. In college, I took a painting class as an elective, and my art teacher was really big into not wasting paint, and she was always adamant about finding a place to put the paint. I guess that's kind of what I'm doing here. Don't leave me Has anybody ever noticed how epoxy smells like a dead animal, or is it just me? One thing as I was working this that I just noticed, you see how this flows this way and then it sort of dips. The top edge of this section is almost in line with the bottom edge of this section. My initial thought was to put these flat washers underneath to lift up the back of the center section here to meet this. Now that I took a little closer look at this, check out the spacing here. It is up a little bit, and that is consistent pretty much all the way across. Watch this gap right here. It's pretty consistent, virtually goes away. This needs to come up a little bit. Right in here is where I need to add, so all of this, not much. All right, so that's cured. Let's go take it back over with this in place where it should be, which is closer to there. You can see that we do have like a 1/16 of an inch right here. That maybe means that this needs to come up like this. That gap is good there. And I can do that, I think, with a spacer or two. Right here. That gap is consistent here. Of course, it is off from what this one is, so it'll probably pull down just a little. Now, this is a little low. Based on that, this needs to come up and sort of pivot like this. It's a very slight movement, but that's in line there now. Of course, I got to do some more sanding right there, but Now that we got all that taken care of, this position between all of these things are going to slightly change. Not enough to matter. I don't have any trunk seals in here, and I don't have any of the weather stripping or any kind of gasket underneath. That's fine, because I just need to rough this shape in anyway, and I can't put those in there till after paint, so the bodywork has to be done, in theory, beforehand. Obviously, it's not completely done. I've left it sort of in its fairly rough state. I still have a lot to do. I don't know if you remember from earlier in the video where I pointed out that there was one of the holes here. I made a little plug and I welded it. I didn't body work it at all. I just sprayed it down with some self-etching primer. The weld came out really pretty nice. It's a little low, but that's good because I can just add a skim coat of filler over top of it and call it done. I think it came out pretty nice, all things considered. I just got to do the same thing on that side, but it's really just repeating exactly what I did. What was I saying? It's a little too cold to do any real body work out here, and I definitely can't paint or put any primers on, so I'm still kind of at the mercy as far as the weather goes to do anything like that. Just to keep stuff from getting down in there. The fuel lines first, of course. Gotta take care of that weird little brake line that's just kind of hanging on for dear life up front on a cross member. And then the motor should be ready to go back in. I've got some other little things to take care of course. I don't know if it'll be worth making videos on some of that stuff. If you want to figure out why we are here, why the engine's sitting out there, make sure you check out this video somewhere. And I'll see you all next time. Thanks for hanging out.